You guys, look how big Moose is getting. He's 3 months. He's 25 pounds. Well, he's still here. Still mad he has a little brother, I think. It's Monday. It's kind of rainy out. But it's time to check on the worms. The video that I posted last week, if you read the comments, or not even the comments, like the notes section, the description box, I noted that I had somebody over and I was showing them my bin, and literally the first time I've ever had this happen, I opened the box to be like, hey, look at my worms, and a couple flies came out, and like truthfully, not a lot, like probably like 4 or 5, and they weren't like the big fruit flies, they were flies though, and they caught my attention. And I was like, oh no. So as soon as my friend left later, I ended up putting some more bedding in and then just kind of leaving him be. And if you haven't been able to watch the last few videos, I'll catch you up on what's going on. We migrated up to this box, I don't know, almost a month ago now, I guess. It's been a little bit. And there is still some worms, some, not a lot, a few in the bottom tier. Yeah, okay, so let me just, 9/21, so September 21, so just about a month where the migration has happened here. And so I think we learned a few things. One, we need to bring some of the compost from the bottom to the top to help get that going. 2, even though they had a ferocious appetite down at that bottom original tier, when they were moving up, not all of them were up there, so they aren't eating as much. So I have actually got kind of like a backlog of food in my fridge, which is getting kind of like, this is like a super old bag and it's already starting to kind of decompose on its own. And like normally I'd be like, oh, I should throw this out, but I'm like, no, this is probably perfect because it's already starting to break down. It's mostly banana peels and eggs and stuff, so I'm gonna put that in there and see if that helps speed up the process. So I'm curious to see what we have going into this top tier this week. I'm not gonna check the bottom tier, I think, right now. Although I did think about maybe like switching them, so the top is the old one and the bottom is the current one, if that makes sense. Like kind of what we did originally, just so they kind of help migrate themselves down. And I don't know if there's a problem with the bugs getting in on that top tier. I don't know. If you guys have a preference or an insight on which they should be, let me know. Because like clearly the worms figured out how to get all the way up to the top. So I'm just wondering, like, not that this one is super liquidy, but I'm kind of curious to see, like, okay, so if I'm feeding it on the top and there's, obviously moisture coming out of this stuff, is it dripping into the bottom and keeping that one wet? So it's preventing me from wanting to harvest it? I don't know. That's kind of the conundrum we're at right now. Okay, we're going to check on the worms to the delightful sound of Wally eating in the background. Okay, so first off, super excited that I opened this and did not have any flies, really. I do have a few little ones. Like, these are really little guys. Shoot, I don't know if you guys can see them. Okay, well, they're very little. They're not like the same size as the bigger ones that I had the other day. So I guess that's progress. I don't know. I mean, it's part of the ecosystem, so I'm like not trying to be mad. Okay, well, there's clearly some cardboard at the top that hasn't been consumed, but that has only been in here for like a couple of days, so I'm not mad about that. So I'm mostly focusing on one. I see that there isn't like that weird nest web thing that we had last time, so that's good. I'm disrupting the top obviously, but I'm kind of trying to see, like, is there a lot of food off in the side, like, because we fed them in the middle last time. So I'm trying to see how much actual food, like human food, is still here. So I see some sweet potato peels here, but not really a lot. I see some Brussels sprouts, some eggshells, which I know like won't just break down anytime soon, but I leave them in anyways. So like part of a banana peel, little Brussels sprouts. I'm seeing a lot of worm activity though, so that makes me feel good that they're definitely here. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna bring you guys in for this. Look at all those worms. Hey worms. You guys talk to your worms too, I bet. Okay, so there's definitely not an abundance of food left for them. Oh, hey guys. Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Okay, I think we can definitely do a decent sized feeding this week. I think so. I think it's time. So, this week, there are some eggshells. This is a lot of banana peels because my husband started eating bananas again. So we're keeping the banana peels, and prior to this little snafu of them taking a little while to eat, they were devouring the banana peels, I think because they were really sweet. Not sure though. Don't know how many of you caught Wally sneaking some of Moose's food in. Thought I wasn't paying attention, but I was. Alright, so this has definitely been in the fridge for a minute because that bag, whew, when I opened it up, it stinks. Not super bad, you know, like it's banana peels. It's kind of a sweet smell, but like, whew, not fresh. So I'm going to do my best to cover with the existing bedding that I have because I do always have a little bit of concern, like, oh my God, I'm putting too much bedding in, but whew, that was exciting. But at the end of the day, the bedding also doubles as food for them. So I'm going to take a little bit more of a heavy hand with the bedding, given that there are flies. Not a lot, but a few, which I think is totally on me because I think there was just too much food in here and I was trying to be clever and put less bedding on than normal. And then I think this is like, not to quote Mallory Archer, but like, this is how you guys want ants, or this is how you people want to get ants. I don't know, whatever. You know, if you watch Archer, you know what I'm talking about. But I think I'm going to be a little bit more heavy-handed with the bedding this week, just to make sure we're really well covered and make those flies really work to get in there, which, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, it's part of the experience. And if it's now October and I'm just now getting flies, and even that, like a very limited amount of flies, I'm not mad. You know, that's pretty good, all things considered. So I think, with that being said, I am going to put this cover back into focus because I think part of the problem is it's not closing all the way. So I'm going to try and just kind of peel off, not even peel off, just like wipe off some of this stuff around the perimeter that might keep it from being like a flat, I don't know what the word is, connection. So that way it's like definitely nice and secure on there. So it could be user error with the fly situation. And I know I said I wasn't going to, but now I'm kind of curious, just for funsies. Okay, probably should have done this before we fed them, but we didn't. All right, now this box, our original box, is really, really broken down. There's definitely some worms still hanging out making this a thing. So I'm not mad. And like, obviously there's some like potato peels. I'm seeing some egg shells in here that never got broken down, which if they go into the garden, you know, I'm not mad. But I'm definitely still seeing plenty of worms in here. So I think, you know, the eggshells, whatever. I'm not mad about that. Avocado peels, also not mad about that. I mean, this looks like, I mean, perfect stuff for the yard. But definitely not something I want to dump out into the yard because there's a lot of great worms still doing their jams in here. And while there's not a lot of food that I see, I'm sure they have food in here that they're working on. You know, like some of these like potato peels and stuff. Like, I'm not expecting that stuff to like break down overnight. Although I am kind of surprised. This Brussels sprout's been here for a minute. But I'm not going to dump this out in the yard until there's no worms, like, obviously here. Like, if there's one or two, fine. But, I mean, we clearly saw quite a few, which, you know, therefore continues to support my hypothesis that, like, even a month in to our bin up here, our second tier, not everybody's up here. So I don't have the working power and chompers of all those little worms. So I guess it takes a little while before we can really harvest the bottom. But if it's, let's say, 3 months to fill the bin, then we're at another month for it to separate, or the worms to separate or migrate, I guess, whatever wording we want to call that. So we're at 4 months for one tray of black gold. But I think part of that is due to, you know, I only have 250 worms, or I only started with 250 worms, I should say. So in a best case scenario, the worms would have just now doubled in size. And that doesn't mean that just because they doubled in size, or population, I should say, that doesn't mean that they're all full big kid worms eating their daily doses. So at best, I might have 500 worms. Not all of them are going to be adults at this point, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying watching how much food that I'm saving, even though I'm not operating as much as I think I was doing before. I am pleased that I'm still saving the food and letting it kind of just sit in my fridge and kind of break down, because it's a lot of food, you know, and it's not like stuff we could eat. They're offcuts, or, you know, the end of a zucchini, or, you know, you see a lot of banana peels in here, and I think that's really great to have that not go to the landfills, and especially if it's something that I can literally use in my garden. I mean, that's just phenomenal, especially with the cost of a bag of dirt these days, like, and this is organic. I mean, like, you can't go wrong. So I'm really excited with this journey and process. I'm going to keep going. I hope you guys are learning as you go. I'm always available to try to help troubleshoot, answer questions. If there's anything I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, but I'm learning with you guys. So your feedback, your comments you guys have been sharing lately have been really helpful. And if there's anything that you're seeing that you're like, hey, maybe we should try this or whatever, you know, let me know. I'm open to suggestions. Okay, guys, well, have a great week. We'll check in soon.